Married to Themself. That is our topic today. And boy, this is a big one. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button. If you have a question, put it in the box. We'll get to it immediately. Listen, I have worked with thousands of couples over 40 years. And I can't tell you how many women and men have said that they feel married and lonely, married and alone, insignificant, the manager, kind of like not as important as the dog. I can't tell you how many different ways women and men have communicated to me that their spouse is married to themselves. Now, I'm going to go through some characteristics and I'm going to give you a name for this reality that you're probably living in. See, when you are married and alone, you're married and lonely, you've begged to be loved. And even worse, you might have to pay pain to be loved. I have a whole product called Pain for Love. And in that product, I talk about how you need to be hurting. I'm going to leave. I'm going to divorce. There's going to be a problem. And then they kind of show up for a week and then they disappear. And it's this constant, I need to be in pain for you to love me. And if that is the game that you're playing in your relationship, definitely get that product. It'll help you understand what's going on. But when someone is married to themselves and they don't necessarily going to fit the criteria for narcissism, let's just throw that out there because I've had so many women on our Facebook pages talk about narcissism. I actually did a product called Narcissism, Sex Addiction, and Intimacy Anorexia. And so it takes an hour plus to explain the differences, the variances. But most people who are married to themselves may not be narcissists. Let's get that out of the way. But they are kind of protective of themselves and they prioritize themselves. And so I want to walk through some of those characteristics and reframe this a little bit. Number one, they're way too busy for you. They can volunteer politically, the arts, the neighborhood patrol, his school boards, church, synagogues, wherever. But they don't have time for you to take you on dates to make you feel special. Because they're really married to themselves. And someone who's married to themselves is really trying to actively maintain distance with you because you're going to interrupt their life the way they want it to be. Your needs seem inconvenient to them. Your pain, literally, if you are in physical pain, you know not to trust them to take you to the hospital or be there for you. They're going to go down to the cafeteria. Okay, they can't really know what to do with your pain. So they're too busy for you. This one really gets a lot of people. They blame you for all the mistakes or issues in the marriage. And so they're constantly, if something comes up, it's your fault. Even if you have it on video camera, it's still your fault. They will actively, and when I say actively, I mean actively and intentionally, withhold love from you. I can't tell you how many tears of women and men. I get no cards on my birthday. I get no gifts. I'm not acknowledged on Christmas. We never take a vacation just for us. We don't really go on dates. They just withhold love. If you like to be touched, you're not. If you like quality time, you don't get it. If you like to be praised, you won't hear it. So it's exactly where you want the love that they withhold the love. They will withhold praise. They will withhold spiritually. They could be anywhere from medicine men to rabbis, to pastors, to the top in their religious field, and still they won't pray, connect, or have spiritual conversations of meaning with you and where you are and how you're trying to grow. They will withhold sex, but in different ways. One way will be that they will just not have sex with you, and they will actually sabotage you if you want sex. So you definitely feel like they're married to themselves because you're like, where's the sex? Are they masturbating? Are they doing porn? Are they having affairs? Are they interested in something else other than me? These questions are real. And if they're married to themselves and they're withholding sex, you will definitely be in pain. And when I say pain, we did a study called Partner Betrayal Trauma, and the statistical pain that you're in is massive. That link will be in the description as well, because the research is profound. PTSD symptoms that can last years, depression, low self-esteem, body issues. So it's real. But the other way they withhold sex is just not being present. They don't look you in the eye. They don't talk to you. They don't connect to you. There's a book called Upgrade Your Sex Life that if they're willing to have that conversation, that'd be great. But oftentimes it's a way not to stay married to you, to be self-contained. What are they afraid of? Intimacy. And we'll get to that in a minute. They will also have like what I call a negative narrative about you. It seems like they're focused on the 3% of you that's not wonderful for them. And you will hear that 3% all the time, even though the 97% of you is amazing and you're serving and you're doing the right thing. And, if you're a man, you're providing. If you're a woman, you're doing the things that you feel you need to be doing in the relationship, but it's not working. It's not getting the results. Okay, because they have a negative narrative of you. They have ongoing or ungrounded criticism of you. They will also use anger and silence as a way to control you. If you kind of step into the world or maybe suggest that they're wrong or suggest that wasn't the best choice or suggest that you're in pain, you can either get, yelled at, pushed away with the anger, the rage, the look in the eyes, the angry stink eye look that they've mastered, or they just won't talk to you. I've had couples who for weeks, he wouldn't talk to his wife and they slept in the same bed every night. So if these characteristics sound familiar to you, you're actually dealing with something that is really well known to us. It's called intimacy anorexia. It's the active withholding of spiritual, emotional, and sexual intimacy from your spouse. Everyone else thinks your spouse is wonderful, but you're the one in pain because they're married to themselves. They're married to the protecting of their own heart, not opening and giving it to you, but protecting it. And so it feels like you're alone because you are. You feel a lack of intimacy because you're experiencing a lack of intimacy. And you don't have a name for it. So I would encourage you. We have so many videos on intimacy anorexia and married and alone. We have Facebook groups for people who are married and alone, for men and for women, because this is a real deal. When someone's married to themselves, it's hard to be married to them. And over the decades, you'll go through different stages. You'll really try the first 10 years. The second 10 years, you'll try to get distracted with either the kids or obligations. And the third decade, you can start moving into hopelessness and actually kind of hit a very flatline place. So this is a real deal. Okay, we have counselors who get certified in intimacy anorexia all over the globe. This is a real situation. We do 5-day intensives at Heart to Heart Counseling Center. Even if your spouse doesn't want to get better, you can still go through the partner stuff and heal yourself. You deserve to be intimate with. You deserve to be loved. And the longer you let this go on unaddressed, the longer you're allowing yourself to be unloved, and that's on you. Take your first steps. Get informed. Get support or counseling. Call the counseling center numbers on the screen, 719-278-3708, and see what you can do to help yourself. And until next time, I really want you to take the next best step. If you haven't subscribed, hit that. If you have a question, put it there. And really do a little more research on this. If this feels familiar to you, we have a lot of information and a lot of support and a lot of help just for you.